Big Meech is berating Rick Ross for putting him in a tough spot after making him make significant promises. Meech is not simply annoyed, let's face it, he is extremely upset. When Meech and Ross worked together, Rick Ross had a plan, and it wasn't just about the music. He arrived boasting of a new show, more money, and even a massive concert to mark his comeback. Rick Ross hasn't fulfilled any of his promises, even though everything sounded fantastic at the time. Ross appears to have vanished. Commitment, and currently he's in a panic, and to be honest, he has every reason to be worried since Big Meech doesn't tolerate disloyalty, which just makes the situation worse. 50 Cent has not stopped teasing ever since Meech teamed up with Rick Ross. When Big Meech got in touch with Ross for the Welcome Home show, 50 rushed to Instagram and started making jokes. When Meech was first freed from prison, Ross had huge plans for him and was promoting this massive. The Welcome Home concert was meant to be a major event. The problem is that Big Meech would have received a fortune if he had been promised a share of the ticket sales. However, the concert was abruptly canceled and never took place. According to the claims, federal officers suddenly intervened with letters to cancel everything. Honestly, who else could have that type of power? Many are claiming that the strings were pulled by 50 Cent. It seems that he did it behind the scenes only to make things right with Rick Ross, if that's true. 50 had a lot to say when Boozy Baz brought up the topic in a Vlad TV interview, although he has not admitted his involvement. Then 50 made fun of the whole thing on Instagram, writing, "Hey, I'm just asking for a friend. Does it imply that there won't be a show?" in a mocking fashion.
I'm like, what? What the? I could have saved this bitch $5,000.
Furthermore, we must not ignore the fact that 50 foresaw this situation, predicting that it would be resolved before it even occurred, and then quickly distanced himself from any involvement as if he wasn't amused by it all. However, the worst part was when everything fell apart, and Big Meech was struggling. Rick Ross did little to help, however, and waited to deploy Meech to settle scores with 50 Cent. A new photo of Tammy, who has been accused of being a federal informant, was shared by 50 Cent, adding to the intrigue. During his incarceration, he allegedly questioned Tammy if she was aware that she was collaborating with the government in the communications. She responded by going into further detail about the situation. 50 Cent said Tammy Cowan sent an email last week with the truth, and there will be nothing but the truth in the near future. It's crucial to remember that he was already accusing Meech of betraying associates when he said, "Listen to the words, big screech, you keep. I forgot you told Tammy Cowans to get your time chopped." Classic 50 Cent made sure to tag all of his brands, so it's not just him. This has been discussed for some time by industry insiders, and it appears that there might be a lot more to the story than Meech is prepared to acknowledge. Both Cuffy and Blue Da Vinci have come out to allege that Big Meech employed Tammy Cowan as an informant in order to get them imprisoned.
Meech have information on you and give it to Tammy so you could get caught up in it. How did that happen? So that means you got to go back to the movies. Right, that's that. Oh, Meech and Tammy was trying to get Suarez.
Exactly. But when the government found out she was in contact with me, they switched the investigation to it.
Lil Meech had been receiving assistance from 50 Cent before all of this chaos. He had made large investments, including managing his financial affairs and funding his acting lessons in preparation for his part in the BMF series. When there were reports that Lil Meech was struggling with substance use, do you recall it? Their strong friendship is demonstrated by their effort in paying for and sending him to rehab.
I'm like, man, acting must just be reading lines off of paper, like something like this. When I get there, you're like, hey, don't look at the paper, imagine your mom.
Big Meech switched sides though, and as soon as he got close to Rick Ross, 50 cut off all contact with everyone. He explained that the BMF series, which is basically Lil Meech's source of income, was what he was terminating. To exacerbate the situation, Meech and his son are currently having financial issues. 50 has been really petty with all the publicity since the Welcome Home performance didn't go as planned. Every time Lil Meech talks about BMF, he has been altering and obscuring his face, as if he were attempting to erase him. Rick Ross also didn't keep quiet. Rather than simply acknowledging it, he began to go on the offensive, declaring once more that he plans to create his own BMF series. And not just any series, but one with a budget greater than 50 cents.
I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do.
It was meant to be Big Meech's final opportunity, and Meech might have made a fortune had Ross gone through with it. But the show was only talk, and like everything else Ross promised, it never materialized. Even worse, Ross was unable to legally proceed with this idea without consulting 50 Cent, who is the owner of the rights to the Black Mafia family tale for television and film. Consequently, all of his boasting was in vain. He was the only person to ever truly get under 50 Cent's skin, which suddenly reignited their long-standing feud. Ross even made a comment involving 50's late mother, which escalated tensions.
Outside of mentioning me. When things get bad, you mention me.
Tony Yayo stated that he had already warned 50 about his missteps. Ross mocked both Yayo and Uncle Murda, implying that their age made them look like they needed skincare treatments. In response, Tony Yayo explained that he's used to being pulled into conflicts because of his close bond and loyalty to 50.
Person that flagged it, he said, I ain't know that. I'm gonna be honest. Tony Yayo told 50 Cent himself, y'all can Google.
Let's be honest, Ross appears to resent Yayo's consistent and visible loyalty to 50. But Ross didn't stop there. After pushing boundaries, he switched gears and started criticizing 50's business ventures. This time, he targeted the G-Unit Studios project in Louisiana, claiming that 50 couldn't finish it due to financial constraints and lack of support from banks.
Tony Yayo said, I wouldn't do that if I was, because Tony Yayo know the niggas ain't got no money. Come on, man, look at Tony Yayo and team that. Them niggas.
50 Cent, of course, didn't let Rick Ross off the hook. He clapped back by making fun of Ross for appearing as a guest on the Millennium Tour. While most people view the tour as a fun throwback to the early 2000s, 50 took it as a sign that Ross isn't the industry heavyweight he portrays himself to be, something he found laughable for someone claiming top-tier rapper status. Mogul commentary below. This entire conflict began because Rick Ross kept bringing up 50 Cent, yet during the original BMF era, Ross himself allegedly faced real pressure from Big Meech. If someone owed Meech, he came to collect. Now, according to rumors, Ross is reportedly feeling nervous behind the scenes. There's speculation that Big Meech and actual BMF associates might eventually confront him, either in person or through others, seeking clarity on his actions and intentions. If that happens, Ross could find himself in serious trouble.
Over his head.
Take the bad along with the good and show his crew know how to be men.
Is Rick Ross genuinely worried about being confronted by Big Meech? Did trying to navigate both sides of this rivalry become too much to handle? And do you think 50 Cent will ever let this drama fade, or is it bound to continue? What's the next chapter in this story? This might just be the beginning. Share your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can stay updated on the latest developments.